I did it again. I went to the coin shop and spent way more than I probably should have. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is the Conservative Coin Collector, and I went back to my local coin shop, and I'll tell you what it is. It is Nice Coins and Collectibles, run by a guy named Daniel Nice, run by two Daniel Nices, Senior and Junior. Look them up on Google and see where they are, and leave them a 5-star review on Google if you know the area and you want to stop in. Nice guy, knows his stuff, but I gave him a run for his money when it came to some of the coins that I have in here that are world coins, and there was like a solid 2 minutes sometimes where he was just got the scope and doing what coin shop owners do, and I was like, if it's like a $10,000 coin that you just double upon, you don't have to give it to me, but I gotta show you what I got. On the very top is 5 grams of gold. It says 5 grams of gold, and I like this. It says, it's a guy holding his gun, and it says, from my cold, dead hands. The message being behind, if you want my gun, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead fingers, because you're going to meet the business end of my barrel if you even try to take him from me. Which, as a Second Amendment advocate and gun owner myself, I agree with this message of the 5 grams of silver. And when silver becomes super valuable in a couple years from now, this is staying in my collection because it's just a cool piece, and I love it. A lot of these coins are going to have future videos where I cover them in depth. Today is just what I got with the haul, and I just want to show you all of them. And this coin, it's an 1889 silver Mexican coin. In fact, it may not be obvious, but there's I don't think you'll be able to see it. Maybe you can. The one of the 1889 is double. So on top of being a very old silver Mexican coin, it also has a double die error. This is gotta be one of my favorites I found, and this one is video coming soon. I'm gonna do a deep dive, and you'll be happy on what you see, and I know I will be as well. But I haven't done it yet, so I don't know right now. This is a 40% silver bicentennial. This is from America's 200th birthday. It's a 40% silver proof. It's your standard bicentennial. It's got the drummer on the back of it, and it's duly dated on the front. Nothing you haven't seen before, except it's just made of silver and a proof. Even though he didn't have to, he threw in a couple freebies for me. This 1944 Mercury dime, and this Buffalo nickel from 1913. Just a couple of freebies, and even though he didn't have to, I'm glad he did, because that's just a nice thing to do when you're a business owner, when you're a coin shop owner, and you want someone to come back, find a couple of average circulated coins, and when you were, well, I'm not gonna brag, but I was one of the first regulars in the shop, and I've established my friendship, and I've known my stuff, and thanks for the freebies. That's all I'm gonna say about that. This is a 2-cent piece. I have a 2-cent piece from 1880. That's not 80, that's 65. Think about it, 1865, the last year of the Civil War. I don't know when it was minted in 1865, but It was either I think it was the final year of Lincoln's presidency, where he'd been assassinated and Andrew Johnson took over. Abraham Lincoln was alive in 1865. He was assassinated in April, so this could have been a coin that he had seen at one point. Maybe not this exact coin, but one very similar. Throughout history, there's a lot of presidents who were assassinated that, if it had happened even just 50 years after the fact, it would have survived. Garfield probably would have survived. McKinley would have survived. But when it comes to Lincoln, he had a big target on his back after the Civil War. So he is one of those presidents that would have gotten assassinated, whether or not it was Ford's Theater or somewhere else, because it was there was a lot of tension and a lot of it was a crazy time in the United States. Now this is a beauty. It is a Benjamin Franklin $50. And of course, every single one of these are 90% silver. This is not a proof, but it's just in very, very good condition. It looks like a Benjamin Franklin $50 that I would show you on my web browser if I was to do like a top 10 most valuable, and I'd show you like the best example of the most valuable. But there's nothing special about this one except the fact that it's very uncirculated. Like, it is in fact uncirculated. I would have to put it through my microscope, but I don't think there's a single imperfection in this coin. You may think this is something fancy, but it's just an Indian head cent that somebody colored in with silver and gold. They learned how to do some chemistry, and I want to say painted it, but you can turn the metal this color with some simple chemistry. Like 10 years ago, Niall Red did a video on it, and I think a few other chemist YouTubers have as well. He's got some really good videos that get views I kill for. But maybe in an alternate universe, I'm also a chemist making those types of videos. Who knows? This one here is another proof. It's an Oregon state quarter from 2005. And again, it's also the same silver content you would see in a proof. Nothing really to write home about this one. But this one here, the silver proof sets in 2018 started making them out of pure silver. There's no filler in this. This 2021 proof $50 is actually like 0.999%. It's essentially the silver content in a troy ounce, which is pure silver. This one also was as well. They started making them in pure silver in 2018, and they haven't stopped since. And the fact that I now have found one and have one in my collection forever and ever, I find pretty cool. 2021, you were started my job. This coin here is a piece of history. On the front of it, you see somebody on the front of it, and it says 1870 to 1970. On the back of it, you see a hammer and sickle and CCCP. This is a coin from the USSR, back when Russia was the USSR, and this coin is commemorating Vladimir Lenin on his 100th birthday. Now, there's not much value in this coin, but it's a very cool piece of Russian history and of world history, because Lenin was the dictator of the USSR pre-Stalin. And interesting fact about Lenin, his body was on display in a museum up until recently, up until the last year or so. I don't know the process they did to keep his body preserved because he died a long time ago. Lennon died in 1924, January 21st, 1924. And his final wishes, he wanted to be buried next to his mother. That never happened. For a solid 100 years, this guy's body was on display in a museum in Russia. This is one that was a toss-up whether or not I was going to get it because I didn't know if I had enough. But it's from 1766. This coin is older than the country I'm in now. Let's see what it is here. It's a German coin from 1766, made of silver, and it's actually worth about $55 in this condition, and that's about what I paid for it. If a VG example is $11, but this one is worth it because it is old and it's on the rarer side of coins. I also would much rather get it from a legit coin shop than from eBay or Amazon because eBay purchases, one seller sells it for $5, another one sells it for $500. And at the coin shop, the guy's father, Dan Nice Sr., he collects like Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards and Dungeons and Dragons stuff. He said he has bought huge boxes full of stuff on eBay and empty boxes show up at his door. So be very careful and always make sure you know who the seller is and that you're getting what you need because eBay is full of tricksters. A few weeks back, my mom had dug up a bunch of baseball cards from the back of some closet, and there were thousands of them. And I actually took him there, and he was like, maybe the most expensive card would be $10, so he gave me $20 for the whole thing, and he was gonna sell them for a quarter a pop. And that's what I thought because my mom got them like 15 years back, and they were just some kid was collecting them, and the thousands of them were just the extras that he didn't need. So that makes sense. There was no Babe Ruth rookie card in there or Mickey Mantle rookie card in there, that's for sure. And if only kids knew back in the day how valuable they'd be, they wouldn't put them in the spokes of their tires and vandalize them like they did, I'm sure. And I'm sure you did the same thing if you're watching and you collected those cards. This here is another German coin, 12 Kreutzer from 1795. It's got an F-bent mark from Pueblo where it was minted. And I got an eye for good for this also was on the rarer side, a little pricier as well, but it's a piece of history. And I like the fact that it's pre-1800. Yeah, 1800s world coins. They're also few and far between. But that is cool in my eyes is pre-1800s, 1700s, and below are much cooler because think of the history and think of how much older they are. Like that coin from 1766, it has been through a lot of history. And I'm not sure whose pockets it's been in, the collectors that have used it, and where it was ended up in my hands. But if some coins could talk, they would have stories upon stories upon stories. That is my latest haul at the coin shop, and I don't think I'll have another haul like that anytime soon, but I have a couple of those coins I'm going to do some feature-length videos on. And, well, I'm a conservative coin collector. You know to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell icon. Until next time, I'm signing off. So long, everybody.